I inherited millions, but kept it secret from my gold-digging girlfriend. When my grandpa died last year, I expected maybe a few $1,000s and his old fishing gear. Instead, I got his entire estate, $3 million plus his house and investments. The lawyer made me promise to keep it quiet until I turned 25, which was still 8 months away. So I did. I was dating Michelle at the time. We met at a food bank where we both volunteered. She was this artsy girl who painted murals and always wore thrift store clothes. She'd roll her eyes whenever her roommate bought expensive makeup and say things like, "Money just makes people shallow," and "I'd rather be poor and happy than rich and fake." I believed her. I mean, she knew I worked at a grocery store making $12 an hour and still wanted to hang out with me. She'd pay for our dates sometimes because she made more money teaching art classes to kids. She seemed perfect. But then little things started bothering me, like how she'd always forget her wallet when we went out with my friends who had better jobs, or how she'd hint about wanting expensive stuff but frame it like she was joking. "Wouldn't it be crazy to spend $300 on shoes? Like, who does that?" she'd say while staring at designer boots online. One night we were watching this movie where a guy finds out his girlfriend only dates him for money. Michelle laughed and said, "That's so gross. I could never be with someone just for their bank account." But then she paused and added, "Though I guess it would be nice to not worry about rent all the time." I decided to test her. I told her my cousin was getting married and needed a +1. The wedding was at some fancy country club. Michelle got so excited about going somewhere classy that she bought a $200 dress she couldn't afford. At the wedding, she kept asking my cousin's husband what he did for work and making comments about their gorgeous house and expensive cars. She barely talked to me all night. She was too busy networking with the rich relatives. That's when I knew. But I wanted to be absolutely sure. So I proposed. I figured if she really loved me, she wouldn't care about money, right? She said yes, crying and everything. Then I told her I wanted a prenup. "A what?" she asked, still wiping her tears. "A prenuptial agreement. You know, just to protect both of us if things don't work out." She laughed. "Jordan, you work at a grocery store. What exactly are you protecting?" I kept my face straight. "I might inherit some money someday. Plus, you always say money doesn't matter to you anyway." She agreed immediately, said it was totally smart, and showed I was responsible. I drew up a simple prenup that basically said, if we divorced, each person keeps what they brought into the marriage. Nothing crazy. 2 weeks later, I handed it to her to sign. She read it, and her whole face changed. "Wait, this says I get nothing if we divorce?" "Only if you don't bring anything into the marriage," I said. "You told me money doesn't matter to you, so this should be fine, right?" She stared at the paper like it was written in another language. "But what if we're married for like 20 years and then split up? I'd have nothing?" "You'd have whatever you earned during those 20 years, and your art, and your happiness, since money doesn't matter to you." She got quiet, real quiet. Then she said she needed time to think about it. Days turned into weeks. Every time I brought up the prenup, she'd find an excuse. She had a headache. She was stressed about work. She needed to ask her sister about it. Then she started crying randomly. Said the prenup made her feel like I didn't trust her, that it was insulting and unromantic. She'd guilt-trip me by saying things like, "I thought you loved me," and "This feels like you're planning our divorce before we're even married." But I didn't budge. I just kept saying, if money doesn't matter to you, then this shouldn't be a problem. Finally, after 6 weeks of stalling, she exploded. Screamed that she couldn't marry someone who didn't trust her, and that the prenup was proof I never really loved her. She threw the ring at me and stormed out. I was actually relieved.